report on your discussions about lack of cooperation between your office and the federal government and how they're standing in your way?
Oh, I have no complaints. You can hardly really expect these federal agencies that are involved with concealment of fundamental information about the assassination to cooperate with us. I don't expect it to be like expecting a man who's just robbed a bank to cooperate with us in the investigation of the robbery. I understand their problem. It doesn't make them right, but I really don't expect them to cooperate.
Is a willing witness and a cooperative witness?
I don't think Newsweek really justifies as much comment as I've made.
Are you going to think, Mr. Bobuck, eventually the case has really been hurt, your investigation of the assassination has really been hurt by this lack of cooperation with the federal government?
Well, I don't want to complain about it because, again, I can't expect too much from parties in the case. But I'll say that it certainly has been a cause of delay, but as to preventing us from being successful, there's no chance in the world. I'm sure that they think they can, but they're wasting their time.
Mr. Garrison, do you think that the federal agency...
Number one, are you getting all of your witnesses to take lie detector tests, sodium pentothal, and hypnosis? Number two, how much involvement does the CIA have in this?
That's question number one. We started off with the naive intention of requiring witnesses to take these objectifying tests in order to assure ourselves that there was no question about the truth. Almost immediately, to our astonishment, we found that when we used truth serum and hypnosis, that it was used against us, and we were suddenly described as monsters hypnotizing the witness. And at that point, we said, forget it. In other words, there's no use wasting our time. If they think our efforts to objectify our witness are something sinister, then we just don't have time to prove it. So we give lie detectors now to witnesses we think are lying in the usual way that other jurisdictions do. Apparently, people are happier when you do it.
The CIA or the FBI to answer the charges that they've taken the Fifth Amendment. Do you expect them to answer these charges, and that in the past they've always remained closed-mouthed about such matters, or any matter for that matter?
I don't know, honestly, I don't know what they could say in this case, because...
do you expect them to say anything?
If you excuse the expression on television, they've been caught with their pants down. In other words, they have to know that what I'm saying is true. And it's just like the picture that I pointed out last week that CIA had faked sent to the Warren Commission. Every American in this country can look in volume 16 at Exhibit 237 and see the fake picture, which is described as a picture of an unidentified man. And they can't answer because there is no answer.
Some time ago, you said in the Petroleum Club, we have solved the assassination. We know who did it. Do you still stand by that statement?
Well, there's no question about that, but we have a small problem of corralling all the evidence in order to be able to go into the courtroom. It's a standard problem for prosecutors, and we're in the evidentiary phase now, but there's been no changes at all on the evaluation we reached months ago.
Do you have enough evidence now to go to trial?
Well, if I answered that, I shouldn't be distant.
Are you a member of the CIA to hear this?
I'm sorry, I can't comment on plans in that way. I have to talk in generalities. I can tell you what we're doing.
Wouldn't it be advantageous for the grand jury to hear from Richard Helms, the director of the CIA?
It would be advantageous if we were to hear from him, but again, I don't know what he would say.
Would they expect
you know how to get him down here?
Would they expect the same thing to happen with Mr. Helms that happened this morning with Mr. Kennedy?
I would have to guess that, but again, there's no way for me to say in advance.
Legally, is there any possible way for you to get agents down here into Louisiana?
Well, since that is the subject coming up in court next week, I'd rather invite you to next week's show and see the answer. What did you say, Sam?
I asked you, Mr. Garrison, if you had it to do over again, would you launch another investigation?
Yes, I would have to, because once you know that something was hidden, once you know what happened, then you have no choice. But I would say that I would do it with a great deal of reluctance, because it never occurred to me that so many people would take it for granted that I would lie about such a subject. But now that I've discovered that a large segment of the American press takes it for granted that you're automatically a liar because you're elected to office, I would go in again, but I would go in with more reluctance.
Senator Long to help you get the Senate investigation that you've called for on this?
No, I'm not going to ask the Senate to do anything. No, the thing I said the other day, to clarify that, was I hope that the American people will call on Congress to do something, because I think there should be a congressional inquiry of this collusion by government officials. But the American people are not interested enough to call on the members of Congress. That's their business.
Do you feel you're violating the court guidelines by commenting on the case today?
You got to be kidding.
Do you feel that any kind of investigation by the Senate or Congress will come out of your investigation?
I can't really say. There's no way for me to guess.
What do you think of the treatment you're getting from the news media?
Now, who writes your questions? Your switchboard operator? That's the other.